Okay, guys. For this scheme of the week is actually one second. Let me turn this. Let me turn this fan off so it doesn't disturb my voiceover. But anyway, this week or today, we're talking about real football. We're going to talk about real life. We're going to talk about more of a sim style scheme because I'm actually having to adjust. Because of a league I'm in, and I'm actually I want to go over what real football concepts are basically, and then how it applies to Madden. So basically, it's basically me trying to imitate a real life actual offense and implementing that into Madden. Because if as you see here, I'm just going to go to customize the playbook and show you just a random playbook. So we're going to take a look at the Atlanta playbook on offense. And as you see, there's a multitude of formations. I form pro, I form twin tight end, I've shotgun doubles on, the tight, empty base, normal Y flex. Probably about 7 shotgun formations, multiple single back, and multiple strong close and strong normal. So for whatever reason, so NFL teams use a lot more formations than Madden does, and I want to talk about why. Basically, if you can set a mini scheme out of every formation in your playbook, you're going to be able to not only throw different looks at your defense that they're not expecting, you can kind of always get to your main plays, and that's what audibles are. Audibles are simply safety net valves. And one of the things that I do appreciate of Gibbs and Forrell's 5-6 for success is you have I'll just say a look here. You have a run audible to the left if they're giving you a blitz to the right. You have a run audible to the right. You have a man beater. You have a blitz beater, and you have a zone beater. So basically, 5 different scenarios that you would be facing at a pre-snap, and you basically make that adjustment and you read and then go into whatever audible suits you. Now let's talk about personnel and why. So real quickly, let's go into a depth chart scenario. Or no, we won't. We'll go into just a standard practice mode. I'm not even going to hook up the second controller since it's all offense that I'm talking today. So let's just take a example with the Cowboys. So we're going to go with we're just going to use that Arizona scheme that I've already got up, and we're going to go over what a pro style offense would look like at Arizona if we ran it like a typical NFL offense would. Because if you notice, I don't know how many of you guys watched the Madden challenge this weekend, but one of the things that intrigued me was that basically they would come out, and I'll just put a standard example. This is what a standard play would look like for the Madden challenge. So you would just say this, okay, I see this, so I'm going to go right into my adjustments, and then snap. So basically it's a quick read, and then you would go. Now, for real life, that's not the case, because what happens if, say, the defense is in a cover 4 look, but they're actually in a cover 2, then that could mess up your read, which is why that's one thing I fail to see in a lot of Madden players, is I don't see the disguise look that I would see in a real NFL defense, which is why I think sim style is not necessarily even a style. I think it's more or less a mindset, in that you're going to be playing real football, you're going to use real concepts, you're not going to run a glitch play, because you know a glitch play is not going to consistently win you games. However, Problem did win the Madden Challenge on running basically one offensive play, which really frustrated me that Charlie wasn't able to adjust to it. He was basically just running the bunch quads from the Philadelphia playbook. I think he had basically 3 wheel routes and a fade on every play with a drag, and just made a read basically as to what it is, and went with it. But anyway, this is basically what you're going to see from the tournament level players. What I want to propose to it is a simple style here. As we see, we have all these formations, and we have 5 quick audibles, or basically 4 quick audibles from every formation. So if I come out and, say for example, if I have a spread standpoint, since I love the spread formation, I think it should be, I think it is by far the best base formation in the game. But anyway, so say I come out in a screen look, and and they don't look like they're blitzing. So I have a quick pass here where I can throw this concept. I can throw a draw at them, which is actually what I would do here. I could throw a vertical route on them or a deep pass to attack seams, and I have a play action pass where I could attack certain routes and make adjustments on every play. Now, real quickly, what I want to go over is I want to propose that you come out in any play you want, and then based on the reads you get pre-snap. So basically what you're saying here is on first and 10, no real offense in the NFL, well, at least this is what I was told last night, will come out in a spread look. So what I would propose is this: come out in for the Cowboys anyway, come out in a pro personnel set or grouping. So basically you're getting you have a running back, a tight end, and maybe 3 wide. And this is the new pro offense. And so basically you just make a read. So here I have a run left. I'm going to hit the hole and try. And it's all about a mindset. It's all about, it's all about clock management too, because what I didn't see in the Madden challenge was, and this is why I think some people who try to run the same play over and over and over again lost, because eventually they'll adjust to it. What happens is when you run it so quick and you're not even really paying attention to what the defense is doing, you're just kind of running your play. I don't think that does very good for you, because you're not really reading it all, and all you're going to be doing is eventually they'll adjust to it, and they'll show you a read in which you would potentially usually run this play, but they'll make enough adjustments as to where you don't want to run it. So here you see I'm reading off coverage, and most of the time off coverage means I can go to curl flats, which I don't have in my audibles, unfortunately, but I'll go to my mesh post, because off coverage more than likely I can hit these underneath patterns. And so as you see here, I'm going to be able to hit this drag route to Austin. And I still have optimal personnel, especially if you have like the Packers, you have John Kuhn, and you could potentially put John Kuhn or Finley in the backfield. You could have the Jones driver, or not Jones, Jennings, and Cobb, or Jones, Nelson, and Cobb on the outside here. And then as you see here, I get a blitz look. I'll go right into my blitz beating play, make one quick hot route, and here I'm going to beat the blitz to DeMarco Murray there. So all I'm basically proposing to you guys is a new way to play Madden. It's actually a way that I actually used to play. I don't really play it like that anymore. I just got away from it for whatever reason. I think I played too much, and so I got used to being able to just kind of run whatever I want. And like, for example, if you want, here I'll show you something like this. So if I was going to run this play, I could do this right here, these 2 streaks, and then maybe a streak from Harris or a drag. And you just simply throw a quick pass to Murray, and there would really not be a whole lot the other team could do. I mean, they'd have to user guard the middle of the field, which would leave the out route open on the outside. But here you see those 2 streaks is very effective. But if you keep running the same play over and over again, for example, let me talk about this real quick. If you guys watched my previous video I did about, not the blitz pickups one, but the one with in the CCM mode, you saw that I eventually adjusted to my opponent's favorite plays, favorite reads, and he also adjusted to my favorite plays and my favorite reads. So as you see the zone across the top here, this is a phenomenal play. The only thing that is wrong with it is, though, if you run it over and over again, you see no coverage will really stop it. I'm going to run it 5 times, and I guarantee you 5 times I'll get huge gains. So there's 2. I was going to run it 3 times just to save time. With a touchdown. So, I mean, no stock coverage will be able to guard that. But if you're playing an elite Madden player, guys, remember this is, this is where you want to be. Eventually, they're going to adjust to it. So you have to mix in stuff like this little run down to kind of keep them honest against the run, keep them honest against the screen. Make them have to guard multiple stuff of your offense versus just guarding the streak to Bryant. Because if you just have to guard the streak to Bryant, yeah, it may be effective against the computer, but eventually your user, if you're playing a good user, he will adjust. So as you see here, we can implement the screen here to Murray, and you got that run, and then you got a deep pass, which I believe is a trail. Now it's a smash concept, which is fabulous. or phenomenal, I mean, and you can do something like this, and throw a streak there. I mean, it's you guys cannot just run one play and expect to win a serious tournament. I was shocked that Problem actually won the tournament running that offense. Because it wasn't even an offense, it was just one play. It was my disappointment because Problem is such a good Madden player. I think he just figured out, well, you know, the way offense works this year, he could probably get away with running one play because a lot of people don't understand that defense is actually, you can play defense, but people kind of choose not to, in my opinion. So they don't really try to, and they get frustrated and they just quit. And so what would happen would be, as I was watching this game, I saw Problem's offense was really good against the blitz because blitzes leave deep streaks open, or deep seams, like deep streaks, like lob streaks. And so what would happen is Problem hit him about probably 3 or 4 times on these lob ball streaks because he was not respecting the streak. And what eventually happened was he started respecting the streak, and then the drag was open. So, but the thing he didn't do well was he didn't pressure him, and when he brought the blitz, he did a phenomenal job. When he actually brought pressure, that was the most shocked I saw Problem ever play, because Problem basically looked kind of like he had no idea that was coming, and I think he did not blitz. My analysis of the game as a whole is he did not blitz enough, and he did not pressure the quarterback enough. So Problem never really felt pressured at all. He never felt like he never really had any, again, pressure or just sense of urgency at all. It was just kind of smooth sailing. It was kind of run my little play. You can't stop my play with any coverage in the game. You can't sit on my route because your pressure's not coming. And it really cost Charlie, because what ended up happening was Charlie ended up losing by maybe 2 points. And no disrespect to Charlie, I mean, he played a phenomenal tournament. I would have just, and me personally, even though I have a lot of respect for Problem, I would have blitzed out of respect because I would have known, yeah, I cannot run coverage D against this dude or he'll torch it. And it just seemed like there's a lot of coverage calls, and coverage D guys at the elite level is not going to work. Coverage D is just too easy to beat, especially with a guy like Colin Kaepernick on your team, which is who Problem ended up running with the Niners, I believe, which can't blame me. But that's my take on the Madden Challenge, and it's also my take on this game in general. And this I actually read an article where I was talking why it was an article about the 46 defense, and they were talking about how kind of a standard mindset and what coaches go through and why coaches do certain things and why they don't do other things. And it was interesting because basically they were saying they are basically just setting the defense up. So in essence, they're running a stretch, not for the sole purpose they think the stretch is actually the right read or the right call. They are simply running the stretch because they want to put the defense to sleep, and they want to make the defense feel like that's all they have to honor. And so eventually what's going to happen is you'll go to your stretch on 3rd and 2, and you see here we have a wide coverage to stop the stretch. And you'll check down into your dive, and then you'll bust a big one right at the right time. And that's kind of the mindset that I've kind of seen from these from these NFL teams lately. I've been kind of watching, and I was thinking, well, why would you not run this or that or whatever? And I found more times than not, it's simply a mind game, and all they're trying to do with their calls is simply put the defense to sleep, and that's it. They're not really trying to score with like this flanker smoke. This is simply designed to get 3 or 4 quick yards to annoy the defense. But what it does is it sets up a big play later, because eventually what's going to happen is he's going to continue to play off coverage. I'm going to continue to get quick passes off And eventually he's going to come up into the box. If I can get him where he comes up. Eventually he's going to come up into the box, as you see here, and now I have the read where I can just lob a streak over the edge of him there, and see, that's just the mindset. That's chess, but it's very simple. I mean, if you guys just stop to think about it, it's not very complex. It's a very simple game. People try to make it complex. They try to put their spin on it when their spin doesn't really matter. But if you guys just stop and think, you know, how to make certain things more effective, like that stretch right there, I just motioned the dude over. There's no one on that side now. I can run the stretch. I could have also playmaker to the left if the dude would not have followed me. So it's a simple mindset. You see, I'm going to playmaker it like I'm going to the left now. I'm going to let Des Bryant set up, and then I'm going to snap the ball, and I'm off to the races. I mean, it's a very simple game if you make your correct reads. It's all about reads. It's all about progression. It's all about you know, pre-snap adjustments and getting yourself into the right play call against the right defense. And that's all it is. So I'm actually going to put a game up after this little bit I'm doing. This is basically just the Arizona offense. But I'm going to be coming out in different formations over the course of the game for different reasons. I'm going to be coming out in a base passing look, a base run look. So I'm going to come out in different personnel groupings based on the situation. So if I want to come out and I just want to get maybe 3-4 yards, I'm going to come out in the split offset gun F-back draw, and I'm going to try and run that draw in order to establish that I want to run inside. So, but that's really all that I wanted to go over today. I don't have any new plays for you really. I'm just going to go over those in the game, and I want to talk about why I'm calling what I'm calling and when I'm calling what I'm calling, because I do think it's very important for us to realize that, you know, Problem's scheme was nothing new. Basically, Problem ran his defense that he made in the beginning of the year, the 4-6 bear under defense, and he also ran the Philly Bunch Quads offense. Basically, just one play from Philly Bunch Quads that Charlie didn't do a very good job of adjusting to, and Charlie ran the Carolina playbook, probably one of the most used playbooks this year. And basically just ran standard stuff that you would normally see from Carolina, split offset, that kind of thing. And maybe, you know, I think Charlie ran a lot more of a sim style of a game. It seemed like he kind of ran stuff that basically concepts I'm talking about here on offense, but it seemed like on defense he forgot his own concepts because he was trying way too much coverage D, in my opinion. But that's just the way I see it. But for any of you guys who say I do streaks out of the backfield, this is actually a default route. So I know someone had to complain last night that I was doing a glitch when I had called this HB option play, and this option route is basically, you know, you kind of throw it early, as you see. So people who complain, I mean, you can continue to talk crap or you can start adjusting. The game is not going to change no matter how much you complain. That play is still going to be effective, so you might as well get in the lab and work on it, work on defense. But the game is simple, guys. I'm telling you, defense is very simple. I actually read Problem's ebook, or I read his little intro to it, and he talked about basically his defensive philosophy is there's 3 different types of philosophy. There's super aggressive, super passive, and then kind of a combo. And Problem says he's kind of more of a combo, maybe even leaning towards more aggressive. And it showed in the game because there was some pressure that Problem had from that bear under. That, I mean, he was literally blitzing probably 6 or 7 guys, but the pressure was there so quick, and he user guarded like so much with this dude that it was such a quick snap. I mean, it was such a quick decision that he had to make as to where to go with the ball that it did force Charlie into some picks. And that's a basic concept of defense, guys. That's what I've been saying all along is, you know, pressure is going to force turnovers, whether you like it or not. If I bring, you know, 6 or 7 every time, it's not going to be successful. But if I bring it the majority of the time and you're feeling pressured to throw the ball, then eventually you're going to throw some to me. And then that's why I say that you have to have a mix between run and pass. Even if you are a predominant 4-wide set, one of the things I pride myself on is spread offense is so easy to run out of because nobody thinks you're going to do it. So when you go into a spread, they automatically think pass, and the draw is actually pretty solid from that formation. So, but anyway, this has been real football concepts. Again, these slant routes. This is a zone beating concept that's in the NFL, and it also beats off coverage. And if you're looking for something quick, I would set this. I would go ahead and talk about this. I'm gonna wheel both running backs. You see here, they're kind of going on this little route here, and the tight end's going out there, creating a three-man route against zone. So you see how the zones are going to play out, but you have three people there, so you would get an extra 2 blockers on every zone that goes out there. As you see there, hope I'll get it soon enough. But this is a concept that's been around all year since they got the wheel routes implemented into this. I've been running this, and you see there's a block, and it's a quick read against zone, and it's the man. You can go to the slant route. But off coverage slants are really good. Off coverage is really tough to run, in my opinion. I don't see off coverage being very good. And that's why I always baseline press, because you leave yourself vulnerable. Plus, when you call a 2-man under or a cover 2, then it doesn't look the same. You can't back coverage off because it just messes up the coverage. It doesn't look exactly identical to cover 3, cover 4. So if you baseline bump every single play, then you now look identical. And that's the thing about defense, is every defense needs to look the same. Because every defense, the reason that is because then the offense can identify where pressure's coming from. So you want to have probably a blitz right, blitz left from the same look, and then maybe a coverage setup from the same look. And that is the basics of defense in Madden. It's the basics of defense in real life as well. People just don't want to admit to it. People also don't want to admit to the NFL being more of a spread game. And there are some offenses that actually do run 4 wide all game. People don't want to admit to these things because it's going to mean they're going to have to defend differently in Madden. They're going to have to play Madden, actually playing Madden, whereas they think they can just come on and dictate whatever you do. Granted, it's a different idea, and I'm proposing a different thought that most people don't think about. But if you guys actually think about it, go ahead and look at the New England Patriots. And you see they come out and they run no huddle, and they run quick, they're fast. Buffalo Bills did this. Houston Oilers ran the run and shoot offense. Houston Oilers were also predominant 3 to 4 wide receiver team. I mean, there have been NFL offenses in the past that have ran spread, ran offenses such as that. It's just because it's not the most popular offense does not mean it's not one of the most effective offenses in the game. And guys, spread is easy to beat. I'm telling you right now, if you want to, beat spread, in my opinion, you need to blitz it. There's so many receivers you can't cover everybody. The matchups are just too good in the offensive advantage, especially if you're using like a Packers. So you have to kind of blitz it, which and it's the same basic philosophy in defense every year. Offense is always going to be overpowered. It's overpowered in real life. If you go through and say that I can run the I-Form Pro all game, I would actually believe you, because the I-Form Pro is a dynamic formation that not a whole lot of people throw a lot of stock into it, but it is. And every formation this year is dynamic, guys, especially with the pass lead system, especially how effective this right here is. To sit there, take a tight end, streak him, and boom. I mean, against zone, beat. Against zone, that was amazing. I want to get man. Against man, beat. So man zone beat from one route, and you have a tight end in the majority of all formations. Now blitz, it's beat again. So I mean, people don't understand how good offense is in this game. Streak against the blitz. So that's why defense has to play a little bit more different every year. This year, not coverage D, trust me. 2-man under is really good, because of the trail coverage. That's not as good as people try to make it out to be. In my opinion, 2-man under is overrated. Because real quick, let me call 2-man under and show you something. Let me show you the I-form type, not a predominant passive formation. In a predominant pass defense, 2-4-5 tackle over, or 2-4-5 nickel. A simple streak to the tight end is going to be man coverage. Look, He dropped it, but still, I mean, there's nothing there. You look here, pass lead to the inside, beat. You want to look at something else that beats man coverage? Okay, do a zig. So I'm zigging the tight end now. As you see, he's gonna, for some reason he was double covered there. Corner route from the other tight end. Should be man. As you see, there's no one there. And it's going to be zone 2 because you have the flat route, curl flat concept, overload zone. So people don't understand how easy offense is if you make the correct throw, correct read at the right time. That's why defense you have to blitz. That's why defense you can't just run a 2-man or stock and expect to have success. You have to mix up your coverages. You have to mix up your fronts, your looks. You have to do different things on defense. What I mean by that is you can't just call a cover 3 and expect to be successful. I'm going to show you my defensive audibles. They're all from the same formation. And if you look here, I have a cover 4 look, a mid blitz look, which is a zone blitz, a cover 6 look. It's basically in a cover 3 look, and then I have a corner dog 1, which is a run stopper. And then I also have cover 2 in my audibles, and I have 2-man under in my audibles, and I have edge sting in my quick audibles, as well as plays I can come out in from 4-3 under, basically contrasting every other play. So you see here, I have curl flat coverage, hook coverage, flat coverage on the left, and 3 deep. Here I have flat coverage left to right, and decent hook coverage, but not very good hook coverage if they want to kind of strip the needle. You get thrown between the flat zones. Here they won't be able to do that. Mid blitz, basically it's negating all quick pass options and the inside run. These don't have any linebacker pressure. Cover 4 is basically just a seam defense if they're trying to attack you vertically. Corner dog 1 is a shutout run D that if you need a stop on a 4th and 1, call it. And usually that deep blue safety. And then the edge sting is a quick blitz. Easy to set up. You can run the edge sting in like 15 different ways. So guys, just understand that. Understand that basic. These are the basics of the game. And I wanted to kind of go over this because this will never change. Because these concepts are real. Whereas people say, oh, fades are effective. Okay. Well, I'm going to fade everybody on my team every play, and I'm never going to lose. You know, in like Z-Boy, I think Z-Boy did a video on this earlier in the year, and it was basically just 2 streaks and a drag, and this is literally what problem ran in the tournament. So shout out to Z-Boy for that. He didn't run it from this formation, but this was the basic concept that the problem took on offense and ran. Basically this right here, fade, probably a fade, a streak, and then a motion Murray out. And see, that was like your other receiver, so he's on a fade. And as you see now, you have that, and then he just works his pass lead. And if you blitz him where you lose a deep zone, then he's going to lob it up. That's basically what he did. So, again, guys, the game is very simple, but it becomes very complex when you make it like it is. When you try to run one play all game, and when you don't adjust defensively, it's just very stupid. So, but that's going to wrap it up for my basically little talk show or whatever, if you will, today for the intro. And I'm not even going to break down the plays. You already know them. I'm just going to get into the game. So I'm just going to get into the game here, and then I'll start recording once I'm in the game. So thanks guys for watching, and have a good one.